and gives no quarter. And I'd like to ask our next presenter to give us a little bit more on that story. He was one of 20 sales influencers invited to appear in the Salesforce documentary film The Story of Sales, launched in 2018, and was named to 2018's Top 10 Sales Influencers by the Modern Sales magazine. Please help me welcome CEO and founder of Vengresso, Mr. Mario Martinez. Now you know what I'm saying about the dancing.
Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey guys! Hey! I am the last person speaking on the main stage here and stopping you from getting your lunch. So I will try my best to bring some excitement to this next presentation. And of course, this would not be a sales conference without the ability to have a contest. Now, we have a lot of competitive spirit inside of this room, I would guess. And so we're going to talk about a contest that we're going to do for the next 30 minutes. You guys ready? Holy crap. Are you ready for a contest? Thank you. Give me some love here. I know it's almost lunchtime. So here's what I want you to do. We are going to try to blow up the hashtag LS2018 on LinkedIn and on Twitter. And let's see, with 800 people in this room, if we can get this hashtag to trend. So here's what I want you to do. Throughout this entire presentation, what I want you to do is, if you like something, you don't like something, if you hate it, that's fine too. Take a picture, snap a tweet, write a quote, put it out on Twitter, put it out on LinkedIn, tag me, and make sure that you tag LS2018. For those of you that don't know what the hashtag is, that's that pound sign. Old school speak. All right? So, that's a contest. Now, you leaders are competing for something. And what you're going to be competing for is if you win, there will be one winner on Twitter, one winner on Twitter, one winner on LinkedIn, and you will win 3 tickets to our Vengresso Social Selling Bootcamp. So this is an opportunity for you to win, to teach some of your reps to go through a 4-week-long program on how to do social selling. So are we in favor of having a little competition to blow up LS 2018? Yes or yes?
Yes.
No. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Fantastic. So you are now officially competing. If there is one thing, just one thing, that I want you to get from today, it is don't do normal. You see, everything that you and I have been taught in sales, everything that we have come to know, and in my 21 years in sales and sales leadership, managing organizations with $300 million a year in revenue, everything that I know and everything that you have been taught has fundamentally changed. It has dramatically changed so much that you and I are caught in this situation of, how do I connect? How do I speak? When should I engage with my buyers? And what we're going to be talking about today is the basis of 3 companies. You all know these companies. Looking at this picture right here, these brands, these names were iconic brands. In fact, most of you here in the room as a leadership probably know what I'm about to do. It was so memorable that still to this very day, at 41 years old, I remember. And I need your help for the next minute to help give me a beat. And what we're going to do is I say what I'm about to say, the moment that you know what it is that I'm doing, join me. But don't stop the beat. And I need your help. Everybody in the room, snap those fingers. Here we go. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys in store for us that I can play with. More bikes, more trains, more video games. It's the biggest toy store there is. I don't want to grow up, 'cause baby, if I did,
I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid.
Holy cow. That brand, that company, of which all of you know that jingle, your children, your children's children will never grow up understanding the importance of when you heard that on TV, it made you say, Mom, Dad, oh, please, 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 will you take me to Toys R Us? How sad it was, and it is, that these brands like Blockbuster, Border, and Toys R Us have completely been wiped off the face of the earth from giving us what we wanted. Why? What happened? What happened to these three companies? Well, we're going to do a poll here. And it's an opportunity for you to be able to say what you think happened. First off, everybody in the room who believes that it was as a result of technology changing the game, raise your hand. Technology changing the game. Raise your hand high. About 15% of the room. Raise your hand if you believe it was customers wanting to buy differently. Raise your hand. Another 25% of the room. Now raise your hand if you believe that leadership didn't adapt fast enough. I'm so glad you said that. Because you know what the answer is? All three. But the majority of you raised your hand and said it was as a result of leadership not adapting fast enough. And you have to ask yourself, are you in a similar type of situation? Because these companies are now gone. Say it with me, gone. Try that one more time. Gone. And you as a sales leader have the opportunity to be able to do something about this, because the question you have to ask yourself is, not only are you next, but has something changed in the way that our sellers and you who grew up in sales, who became very successful and moved into leadership, has something changed in the ways the buyers want to engage, in the way technology has transformed? And are you as a leader responding and adapting? So the question I want to answer first is, has technology changed the game? There are 4 cardinal attributes of today's modern buyer, and this is a moment that you can take some great notes. Number 1, they are digitally connected. Number 2, they are socially engaged. Number 3, they are mobile attached. And number 4, they are video hungry. Now I'm going to prove to you these 4 points of that today's buyer has changed on us. And then we will talk about whether or not you all and your sales teams are changing with this. First off, the average number of digitally connected devices worldwide is 3.64 devices. Ladies and gentlemen, what the hell do you think they are doing on connected devices? It's called connected. What do you think they are doing? What are you doing? Because, by the way, this number includes you. These are connected devices, and they are out connecting to something or someone. Number 2, in 2008, 24% of the U.S. population had a social networking profile. But by the end of 2017, just 4 months ago, 81% had a social networking profile. Now, how many social networking profiles does that include? Well, there's well over 200. And it includes the things like dating.com sites. But just for a moment, yell out the big ones.
LinkedIn, Twitter.
LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, not Pinterest, not a big six, sorry. One more. One more.
YouTube.
Say it again.
YouTube.
YouTube! The only social media platform that is growing 100% year over year and the second largest search engine in the world. We're video hungry. Our buyers are engaging through social, and they're digitally connected. And now, the next picture that I will show you will prove to you that our buyers are mobile attached. Now, this picture that I will show you will probably embarrass you. But I'm going to be the first person to raise my hand to say, I do this. Let me prove to you how we are mobile attached. How many of you, by a show of hands, do this? How many of you thought 10 years ago that we would be sitting on the stall in the public bathroom hearing someone say, yeah, John, you know that deal though? Yeah, well, we got to fix that pricing. Oh my God! This is what you do. Can you please turn off the phone? Okay, all joking aside, we never thought that we would be bringing our devices to the bathroom with us. We are mobile attached. My goodness, how many times have you gone out and seen a family of four sitting at a table and all you see is this? And maybe that's your family. But the reality is that we are mobile attached. In addition, if you think about being video hungry, statistics show that by the end of 2018, this year, 76% of the world's internet traffic will be as a result of consuming video. And Cisco just published a report because they, I don't know, a little small player in the world of internet, published a report that said by the end of 2021, 81% of the world's internet traffic will be as a result of consuming video. And my friends, ladies and gentlemen, fellow leaders, you must ask yourself, if we are a digitally connected, socially engaged, mobile attached, and video hungry society, why on God's green earth are we not digitally connected, socially engaged, mobile engaged, and video connected with our buyers if we are doing all of these things? Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Yes. Now, the next question you want to ask yourself is, if these technology changes have happened, are my B2B buyers truly buying differently? Well, let's answer that question. This actual study came from CEB, now a Gartner company. And this takes you through the actual buying time that is spent on different types of activities. It was identified through 750 B2B buyers that 27% of the buying process is spent researching independently. Where? Read it with me. Where? Online. I can't hear you. Online. Then, maybe they reach out to our sales teams. No. What happens next? They meet together as a buying committee. What's our problem? How should we fix it? What do you know? What problems are we trying to solve? Well, if we do this, how long will it take? What is the ROI? What's the impact? Got a plan? Yes. March out and let's figure out what we can do. What does everybody do? Oh, we now independently go out and we research offline. We call up fellow CIO, fellow VP of sales, fellow VP of marketing. Hey, Susie, what have you done to solve this problem? Now notice in this 67% of buying time, not one mention yet, not one mention of talking to a salesperson. So how much time out of the entire pie chart are they spending with salespeople? The answer? 17%. 17% of that buying time is spent. And there was another 16% of other. You can read the study on your own that goes through the details of what other might be. But here's the question you want to ask yourself. Holy moly, So we have 17%. All right, that's pretty good, right? 17% is better than no percent. Yell out a number on this question. On average, how many competitors do you have on any one given deal? Wow, 6 I heard. 3. Let's pretend the number is 3. So of that 17%, guess what? You get about 5 to 6% of the time. And your competitors are getting 2/3 of the percent of that time of that 17%. So now you have to ask yourself, well, wait a minute. What are we doing differently to engage with this buying community in that chunk of 17% of time that we're getting? And all of this other research is happening without your involvement and without your engagement. Where? Online, digital, phone a friend. Are you involved in that process? How are you getting your sales team involved in that other 67% of the time? And differentiating yourself so that that 2/3 now becomes your 2/3. Now some of you may say, yeah, but is this really my buyer? Is it really across industries? What about industrial? What about manufacturing? What about technology? Is it apply? And by the way, we sell to the industrial manufacturing environment, and these are the good old guys. They really want a handshake. Well, CEB came up with a study on that one too. Here you go. When asked across generations, what percentage of the time in early, middle, or late are you utilizing digital sources through the buying journey? Millennials? Are we surprised by this? Yes or no? Not surprised. What about Gen Xers? Most of us in the room. What do? Are we surprised by this? Some of you are wondering, well, I'll tell you this much. You and I, the first thing that we want to do when we want to figure something out is we're going to phone a friend, or we're going to go look it up. Agree? Yes or yes? Yes or yes? Yes. So the point is that based upon the different generations, not much has changed. But what about all of those buyers that are those boomers that we think may be moving on out? What did boomers say? Wow. Boomers said, not so much at the beginning, but once I probably talk to somebody, then I'm going to go validate. And that spike in the middle goes up. And then it drops towards the end. So, across generations, B2B buyers are using digital sources at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the entire buying process. Now, this is one of my favorite set of slides right here, because I talk about the old way of selling versus the new way of selling. Now, bear with me here because it'll come together when we look at this old way of selling. First off, the old way of selling is this. You cold call, you email blast, you ask for a referral, you attend to networking events. How many of you have your reps doing these things today? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. No, oh, so your other reps aren't selling? Come on, people, raise your hand. I know it's almost lunchtime. Oh, good, everybody's doing this today, right? Now, enter in the new era of selling. And the new way of selling is the old way dead? No, the old way is not dead. And anybody, any leader, any influencer who tells you that the old way is dead, walk away. Don't listen. But is it as effective as it once was? Yes or no? No. But now enter this new, more complex way of selling, and you've got now texting being introduced. You've got now social networks. You've got now digital video, the ability to engage through video. You also have digital referrals. Did you know that if you connect to your buyers, you could actually look up your buyers' connections and see what other like titles that you sell to they are connected to? And then say, Susie, Billy, would you give me a referral? Because why is this important? Oh, I don't know. Last year, 84% of all B2B sales opportunities entered into the funnel were as a result of a referral. But you may not even be aware of the power that is in your hand, by the way, for free, that you could actually see your buyers' connections and get referrals by using a digital Rolodex, which we'll talk about in just a second. In addition to that, we also have the buyer engages you. Now, if your reps are actually out there and engaging with content and sharing and putting out information that marketing creates, and hopefully your marketing team is doing a good enough job to create sales-related content, well, they should be sharing, and guess what will happen? If they are connected to your buyers, if you are connected to your buyers will see this content, and they just might like it. Go figure. And that could be an opportunity to be able to create engagement. And last but not least, we've talked about this, we've touched on this. Sean just did this right before I came up here. Sales AI. Now, I have no dog in this fight, but the world of sales AI and having your digitally outbound SDR that is an AI bot that I have spoken to and didn't even know I was talking to a bot is pretty darn cool. And there's a great company that's out there. I have no dog in this fight. I'm not a member of the board. I don't get paid for saying this. Conversica is a great platform, and it's your outsourced SDR. And this, by the way, has enabled millions of conversations to enter millions of dollars into the pipeline. This is the newest trend that is happening. So you have to ask yourself, when you say, oh my God, Mario, we have the 4 things that are the old way in the middle, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other ways to engage with our buyers. It's changed. And your job now as a leader has become so much more complex. Because you're no longer having a coaching session to say, hey, did you call that person back? Well, who's your decision maker? Well, who's going to sign the contract? No, the conversation you're having is, who are the 6.8 buyers that would be involved in this particular opportunity? Have we socially engaged with all of them? Are there any of our leaders that are connected to those 6.8 buyers? We don't know who those 6.8 buyers are? Well, we better figure that out first of all, and then map our executive buying committee internally to those buyers. And let's see how we can help move this deal along. The conversation has changed, but you may not be aware that the world of technology has changed this on you. So at this point in time, leaders really have 3 choices. You can take a look at everything that you heard here the last 2 days, plus my session, and you could do absolutely nothing. Number 2, you could say, let the competition go first. Or number 3, you can adapt and get help. And what I want to do for you is I want to leave you 4 tips that are going to help you in this digital leadership process, this transformation process. Number 1, you start by creating an executive level profile. What should this profile include? Well, there are several things that this profile should include. I'm going to focus on the last 2 items. Were you aware, whether you have 10, 100, or 1,000 sales reps, were you aware that you could create 10, 100, or 1,000 mini micro.com websites for free utilizing social platforms to be able to create a messaging for your sales reps to attract your buyers, not distract? What do I mean by that? I promise you this, that if there's any level of remote interest whatsoever in what your rep has to say, your buyer will look them up. And do you know how many profiles we have seen and viewed that the resume is in the summary section? So your buyers look at this and say, oh, I have a sales rep who's looking for a new job. No thanks. Or how about this? Best contract negotiator. Right! Because I want to deal with the best contract negotiator, right? Think about that messaging. We had a client who literally had one of their reps have skull and bones on their profile. And we sat with the leader, and the leader said, why did I not think of this? I should have looked at this. It was so obvious, but yet I forgot to do that. And number two, if you look at a rep's LinkedIn profile, if you look at their social whereabouts before you interview them, and you want to get to know who they are, let me ask you a question. Why would you think that the reps are not looking at you? And are you the type of leader that has zero recommendations, so that person doesn't know whether or not you can help them advance to the next level in their career? What the type of culture is in that particular organization? What your style is? Do you subscribe to the direct approach? Are you the huggy type? What type of person are you? Can you help me get to the CEO level, which is where I want to be? And the challenge is most of the profiles in the room, because I've seen thousands of them, most leaders' profiles forget that your page, your profile, is just as much of a recruiting item as your company's website. Because there are two things that people get to choose when they work for somebody. Number one, they get to choose the company they work for. And number two, they get to choose the person they work for. So better well darn will make a good choice. But if your profile is not set up correctly, guess what? You may be hiring talent that you don't know what they want. So I will invite you as well. We are doing profile assessments at the Vingresso booth. You can go down and get your profile assessed. If it's aligned, just hand your business card over and we'll give you a LinkedIn profile assessment as well. Now, tip number two, everybody pull out your mobile devices. You're going to love this one. Pull out your mobile devices, open up your email application. All you have to do, you're not going to go on anybody's list, okay? All you have to do is send an email to mario@vingresso.com. Mario@vingresso.com. Put in the subject line LS 2018. LS 2018. I promise you, what you will receive from me as a response back, you will want to watch. It'll be probably the first time you've ever seen this before. It'll be something that is totally unique and totally different. It will use video. It will use call to actions. It will use social engagement. And I promise you, your competitors are not doing this. So send that email to mario@vingresso.com, LS 2018, and later on in the day, read that email. Number three, take a picture of this. This is a slide taken right from our leadership training on digital leadership, our digital leadership training. And what this basically showcases, we teach leaders, is, by the way, every time, write this down, every time your sales rep, if you're a manager or you're a director, whoever, every time your sales rep books a meeting, you have them send that calendar invite, and then you have them open it back up and add you to the calendar invite so that the customer doesn't see that you've been added. Then what you do is the day before the meeting, you send this note. This note is a personalized connection request through LinkedIn. And you get that buyer into your network. Now, why would you want to do this? There are two very important strategic reasons why you would want to do this. Number one, how many of you have reps that actually leave the company after a couple years? Raise your hand. Yeah. And oftentimes the relationship with that buyer or prospect is gone. So by you connecting with that buyer through LinkedIn and sharing social information, not only is your rep connected with them, but you're connected now with them. And reason number two, if you are actually a digitally savvy leader and you are engaging with your buyers correctly, you are sharing content the same time that your rep is sharing content, and you get a two for one. Your potential buyer may be looking at content coming from both of you guys, different types of content that engages with them. And this is one of our leadership training techniques that we showcase. Hey, don't forget to connect to every prospect and customer. Tip number four, if you have a team of over 25 sales reps, go to digitalsellingbenchmarkreport.com. We can help you with actually providing an assessment of what your sellers are or are not doing. And it's a fantastic benchmark assessment report that showcases real data so you can make real decisions on what to do next. Now, if you want any type of weekly tips, sales, digital selling, personal branding, you can snap a picture of this, send your email to this particular phone number. Every week we send out a weekly digest of new digital sales tricks. In fact, Bryn Tillman, our Chief Learning Officer, just published one last week. And I said, I didn't even know I could do that on LinkedIn. Right? So there's some great stuff that you'll be able to get as well. So feel free to that. Now, I want to show you one last bonus tip. Everybody take out your phone, please, and open up LinkedIn. And I'm going to show you how you will never, ever again break the cardinal rule of just connecting with a buyer. So what I want you to do is on LinkedIn, go to my profile, type in Mario Martinez Jr. If you're connected with me, this is not going to work. Find somebody that you're not connected to. But if you're not connected to me, type in Mario Martinez Jr. You should see my picture with a red background. Open up my profile. Now on that profile, you see a big connect button, right? Don't touch it. The next one says InMail. And then there's 3 little dots, either on the right side of those 2 buttons or in the upper right-hand corner. If you're on Android, it might be a setting. Click the settings button, and what you're looking for is the words personalize invite. And what I want you to do is, on your mobile device, go ahead and feel free, just put LS 2018, connect with me. I'll be happy to connect with you. We're all friends here. But never, ever again should you reach out and not send a personalized connection request. And that is your bonus tip that I want you to take away from today. And go back to your reps and say, how many of you are hitting this little connect button? Stop it! Don't send the connect button. Send a personalized invitation. And we actually did a study with over 1,000 different connections that we opted into, and we had a 76% connection rate as a direct result of using personalized connections. Of course, these are some other resources you can learn from as well. And remember, I opened up this morning session with one thing that I said I want you to remember. Just one. Don't do normal. The world has changed. Leaders didn't adapt fast enough. And you have a unique opportunity right now, understanding the technological changes that have happened and understanding that buyers have changed the game on you. You have the ability to adapt or die. Thank you very much.